Why am I so attached to all these empty things in my life? What kinds of literal and figurative things have I been stubbornly hoarding in my life that I really should let go? There are so many possessions in my house, I couldn't even tell you what they are, and honestly, I haven't used many in years or at all. Do you miss having time for Jesus and yourself, but you're drowning in the responsibilities of motherhood? If so, you're in the right place. Hi, I'm Cheryl, wife, girl mom, and Jesus follower. I learned the not-so-secret ways to become the mom my girls needed by prioritizing Jesus back into my mom life and reclaiming my identity in Christ. If you're ready to build faith while washing dishes, rediscover your identity, and love yourself like your babies do, grab your earbuds and lock that bathroom door for a minute alone. It's time for Mom. Hey, beautiful. Welcome to the Time for Mom podcast. I'm your host, Cheryl. Today's devotion was originally titled Empty Boxes and Letting Go. But before we dive into empty boxes and letting go of things, I wanted to give a quick mention that I have a workshop coming up in a week and a half, April 21st, and we are going to be talking about a time management reset, why time management is not helping reduce your overwhelm, and how we can take some practical steps at examining our capacity and making small tweaks based on our priorities rather than our expectations. So if that sounds like something that would be helpful, or if you just want to hang out, because I'm all for that, please head to the link in the show notes. Fill out the Google form so I can add you to the list and send you the links, or you could just subscribe because I'm going to be putting the Zoom link in all of my emails from here on out. So you can just go in and log into the Zoom call when it happens. Now we can dive into the devotion. I hope you enjoy. My husband and I have always rented. The first place we had, I kept every single one of the boxes I had used to move up to Montana when we got married. My husband Eric shook his head, but let me keep them. Those boxes ended up being borrowed by my best friend when they needed to move, and then carried all of our stuff when God told us to move into my parents' home. I didn't have a place to keep my empty boxes in our new home, so as we unpacked the necessities, I got rid of them. Since we were only going to live in my parents' house for a short time, we kept our non-essentials packed away under the staircase. 2 kids later, we still live with my parents. Our list of essentials is way bigger than it was when we first moved in. Many boxes have been unpacked and items have been purged as our situation has evolved. The first 4 years in my parents' house were spent cooking with a hot plate, a toaster oven, and an Instapot. Most of my pots and pans weren't usable and were banished under the staircase until we finally got an electric range. I had completely forgotten about almost everything that had been stored. There were some really nice things, and as I unpacked the box, I realized what wouldn't be used needed to be rehomed, leaving me with one more empty box. Over the years, it has become easier to get rid of items we don't, or in some cases, can't use. It's still hard sometimes. I didn't realize how hard it could be to rehome a dress I never wore that is 4 sizes too small because of the memories it held from shopping with my mom. For some reason, I still struggle with eliminating empty boxes and empty containers. I even have a large box of empty containers sitting under the staircase. Can you imagine how much space we would have if I could just let a few things go? Why am I so attached to all these empty things in my life? What kinds of literal and figurative things have I been stubbornly hoarding in my life that I really should let go? There are so many possessions in my house, I couldn't even tell you what they are, and honestly, I haven't used many in years or at all. When I was confronted with getting rid of the items we won't use, I wondered if I might need them if we ever get a house of our own. These are random items that I haven't thought of for years, and obviously, they will become invaluable as soon as I get rid of them, right? Note the sarcastic tone of that sentence. Will these things actually be helpful in a home, or are they taking up space I could use in a more beneficial way? How much has my version of hoarding actually hurt me and my family? I know 100% without a doubt that God provides everything that we need when we need it. He has proven that over and over with food, a place to live, vehicles, money for needs and wants. He even provided toilet paper in the great toilet paper shortage of 2020. If I have that much confidence in who God is and how He cares for me, I can be assured that God will provide future needs in His time when we need them. And if those needs never come, then I can trust that they aren't going to become anything good in my life. Some of the metaphorical boxes I've held on to are hopes and dreams. Some are still alive, and some I'm so thankful have never become a reality. Some dreams have died, and I still need to grieve their passing and let them go. I've held on to grudges, hurt feelings, anger, and frustrations against people both alive and dead. I've also held on to memories of people and experiences that I hold most dear. The invisible things, the hard feelings, hurt, and even dreams that have died are so much harder for me to let go of than physical objects. And you have heard how hard it is for me to let go of physical objects. Maybe it's because they aren't something I can physically release, rehome, or stick in the garbage where they belong. Those invisible things are even more important for me to get rid of because they are so much more destructive than the tangible. In The Shack, the movie adaptation of the novel by William P. Young, there's a scene where the main character, Mac, is faced with having to forgive someone for the unforgivable. The character that represents God tells Mac that forgiveness is not about excusing what someone does, but about trusting God to do what is right. Forgiveness doesn't mean we have to have a relationship with the person that hurt us. It's about letting go of the things that are robbing us of joy and crippling our capacity to love. And we don't have to forgive alone, that God is with us. And if we don't know how, say it out loud as many times as it takes. Later, Mac has to repeat, "I forgive him," over and over to keep his hatred from continuing to cripple him and allow God to come alongside and start healing. We have to let go of the hurt, the heartaches, and the lies we've been told and believe. We have to let go of the anger we are holding against people because it is corrupting our abilities to love our families. There are always going to be literal and figurative boxes in our lives. Some boxes are pretty perfect looking on the outside, but they have some really nasty stuff on the inside. Others were emptied of anything good long ago, and now they're just taking up space that God could be filling with life-giving things. My challenge for you this week is to take some time in prayer and ask God to reveal an empty box in your life. Open up that box, release the ugly, useless, and ultimately damaging things inside. If you need to grieve the loss it represents, that's okay. Please do that. Grief is a lot healthier than our culture leads us to believe. If the box God shows you contains things you can't, don't, or won't use, then in the words of Dr. McPhee in Night in the Museum, Battle of the Smithsonian, let it go, baby. God has so much He wants to heal and make whole. Let's get rid of some of those boxes. Until next week, you've got this. Love, Cheryl. Hey, beautiful. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If so, would you take 30 seconds to share this with a mom who's wading through those mounds of laundry and dishes and wishing for just a little me time? Also, please leave a quick review for the show on Apple Podcasts. It makes my day to know this podcast has helped you. Well, it's time for me to wash more dishes and cook more food. I'll meet you next Wednesday for another episode. Until then, may the God of grace fill you with His peace.